Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a while since I've really taken you into the garden. I, kind of brought you out briefly during my kind of staycation vlog, but I've been doing just a very minimal amount of work. I did do more work yesterday, just because I was kind of transplanting some stuff real quick. I did not film that, so you don't get to see it, sorry. But I'll show you, I might do a little quick garden tour and just kind of show you. Bear in mind, it's quite warm today, so stuff's a little droopier than normal, but I'll kind of give you the quick update. Also, last night I went to a cooking class. It's at this place that's super cool. I am friends with the owner, but it's called La Victoria, and the cooking class that I did was on how to make banh mi's, beef pho. There was, I can't even remember some of the items. You know what? I will list the things we made to the side here. But it was super fun, and I ended up actually knowing some of the people that also were in the class. So we just kind of hung out and we cooked and we chatted and then we ate really delicious food. Highly recommend if you're anywhere in the Denver or just really the Denver metro area and you get the opportunity to do that. It's, I would say, a really great friend hangout option. It's a really great date night. If you just want to go and meet new people, it's a great way to do that too. Cool space. Yeah. So I'll show you, here's a little look into the past. Let me show you what that looked like. Have any food?
We'll get all of our vegetables cut, ready to go, and we'll get those into our apple cider vinegar there, and we'll let that sit and pickle for a little while. The longer it pickles, the better. Shortly, okay? Everybody on team 3 is a set. So we'll make sure that we'll set that up. And let's do this. So you know what? Let's just plan on one pack, go with that directions on there. That way you.
I totally forgot to film all the rest of the food we made because it was so delicious and I was just really enjoying it. All right, so right now I have a couple of meetings coming up shortly, so I don't have a whole lot of time, but I'm just kind of putting some things in the garden, some seeds that just haven't really come up, and then I may turn on the soaker hoses just to try to get a little bit of watering done. We'll see. I also want to start maybe cutting the soaker hoses because right now it's still just a trailing mess. You can kind of see the hose winding through there. So I might try to start cutting that a little bit tonight. We'll see. Especially since it's getting so hot and I need to be able to water multiple times. I kind of need to get that done. But let's do a quick garden tour. Okay, first off, my lupine finally bloomed. It came back. It looks a little smaller than it did last year, so I think it might need a little compost boost, but I'm just excited that it came back. I want to get more of these too. All right, here is what my garden looks like from a distance. You can see the chaos that it is. Now there's a ton of bindweed in between the aisles, and I just found out from a neighbor that apparently in Colorado we've got I think it's connected to the state, but basically we have certain plants that are weeds that they are purposefully infesting with whatever critter eats those. So nothing eats bindweed. It's absolutely ridiculous, but they have mites that eat it, and you can actually purchase infested bindweed to plant. And my neighbor had already done this, and she said that like year after year, the bindweed just looks worse and worse. Like it's not necessarily gone, but it just obviously looks affected. So I'm like, great, send me 10 And hopefully I can start getting some of this cleared up a little bit more. I also just love the look of the onions and the flowers. I've actually started to, so these tall big ones here are green onions. I actually just got those from Trader Joe's and planted them. And I've started to put them in other parts of my yard just more as a decorative look because I really like the way they look. And then over on this far side here, I think these are just a regular type of, I don't remember what kind of onion they are. Let me see if I can, oh, those might actually be shallots. They're either shallots or they're, I have a red onion. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it grows taller. But I love the way that those look. They're just very sculptural. So I kind of want to just grow a whole bunch more and put them in my garden to be pretty as well. Yeah, super cool. Okay, so starting over here, so the beets are looking pretty good. We'll have to see. I'll need to thin them a bit. I just planted way too many too close together. But they are starting to fill in. No! Oh, squirrels! Okay, well, this is supposed to be melons. You can see somebody knocked all of this over, and the roly-polies are thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, they already ate that one off. Oh man, they flung one over here. I don't even know what this one is. I don't know if it's a watermelon sherbet or if it's a Chanterelle melon. Guess we'll just kind of stick it in the middle here. Okay, well, I may need to start some more of these. I did finally move my plant shelf outside, so I might start these since the roly-polies really like to eat the young leaves. I might start these on the shelf. Okay, off to a rocky start. So you can see, oh, maybe. So you can see in here, like, these are way too close together, so I need to start separating, but look at that. That one actually might be ready to pick before too much longer. These don't get overly big. Kale's looking good. I still have some lettuce in here too, and because it's tucked in there, it hasn't bolted, which is lovely. Kohlrabi, I still have some in this box, but I have harvested a good portion, and they're getting close to being done over here. I honestly, so this is nasturtium. I don't know why anybody buys plant versions of nasturtium. Just buy seeds. They're so easy to grow. This just reseeded itself from last year. It's a volunteer. And then I purposefully put some in other places. I'm not going to put more in the garden boxes because, as you can see, this is quite large. They take up a lot of space. So I'm going to just put them in other areas of my yard to, attract pollinators, be pretty. But I don't want to lose this much planting space in the future. So, and then tucked in here, got a tomato. I'm pretty sure, is that a Brandywine? What did I put here? Nope, that's Strawberry Fields. So the tomatoes, because I don't want them to fully burn, I tucked them into different spots. And then when they get big, they'll surpass the height of the other plants and then be able to get all the sun they want. Got more beets here. The strawberries are looking good. Oh, we got one starting to turn. I'm sure the squirrels will steal it before I can get to it. Got some basil, and I just transplanted this. This is lemon thyme. It's a variegated thyme, and it's so delicious. My cilantro has bolted, but I usually leave one just so it goes to seed, because it's kind of nice to not have to seed it. My pinto beans and some lemon cucumber are coming up, and then over here I got way more lemon cucumber, and then a couple of garbanzos. I probably need to put some more of those out as well. Jambalaya okra, I'm having a little trouble getting going, so I did just put some more seeds out. We'll see what happens there. And my cumin dried up mostly, so all I have left is that little one. My potatoes look amazing though. I have a couple of, looks like there's 3 cantaloupes coming up. I stuck a couple more seeds in too, just to try to make sure that I have enough. The sunchokes look amazing. I've got a tomato in here with the onions. Those onions are just from last year. I'm just letting them go. And actually, this one that has divided into two, I planted last year. It was just an onion I had in the kitchen that I cut in half and then just stuck the bottom part in there and like let it do its thing. So not the fastest way to get onions if you want to eat them, but you can put, because onions run on a 2-year cycle. So first year you're gonna get onions. Second year it's going to produce flowers and separate if it does. But in the long run, I can kind of just leave some onions and let them keep going. So these are a sweet corn, and they're not doing amazing. I had trouble with these last year too, so we'll see. These, on the other hand, are a maize. They're better for making flour and cornbread and stuff, and they're doing fantastic. And then I've also got some yellow summer squash coming in there. These are both from Johnny's Seeds, and I just find that honestly my seeds from Johnny's Seeds do so much better. Here's another example. So these are zucchinis and then a different color corn from Johnny's Seeds, and they're both doing pretty amazing. So in here we've got probably too much. I've got broccoli on this side. There's some peppers on the inside that I tucked in. That is a colder tolerant pepper, which I'm really excited about. I just randomly found it this year. It's looking amazing. Got kohlrabis and I think cauliflower in here. There's romaine over here that I harvest. Bug. And then onions on the side. Yeah, it's loaded, but it seems fine. Got a couple more tomatoes on the side here, plus some okra. Broccoli, there's more kohlrabi behind that, as well as my sorrel, which I put into salads, and then more lettuce here as well. And then this right here is, I think, cauliflower. So maybe, oh, right, so it's not cauliflower over here, it's, there's rutabaga growing over here. That's what it is. It's hard when all the leaves start looking the same. Back there, you can especially see like my bindweed struggles. I know I've got some more rutabagas and also some chioga beets, which get really big, and they're not typically the bright red, they're like pink and white striped. So I've got those growing back there. I've got some cabbage that I need to go ahead and pick and put in the compost pile because it's bolted. My asparagus, I know you can't totally see it because it's just a lot of green over there. But yeah, there's a few things in there, plus some onions on the right. And then this box, so it struggled last year. It's definitely doing better this year. Still a little bit of a challenge. But I've got various peppers, some basil, some onions. I had cabbage in here, and there's just a couple of little guys left, but I harvested a bunch, and then some of it also bolted. I did just transplant that cucumber there because he was growing in a different box, which is why it looks so rough, but I think it'll be fine. I think it should recover. And then there's a bunch of smaller ones too that hopefully will do okay. It's hard with cucumber. You have to plant a ton of them here, or at least in my garden, because there's so many roly-polies and they will devour the seedlings. And then in there, I've got a couple of peppers that I overwintered from last year. They're looking very happy, as well as brandywines kind of between the two broccolis, and those broccolis will eventually come out. But look at them. They're looking so good. I have found that brandywines tend to, keep getting shadow. I have found that brandywines tend to be a little more finicky as far as growing. They're a little more challenging of a tomato. And I think they want full sun, but definitely not necessarily in like the beginning part of growth. So that's why I put them under the broccoli. I have copias are the same. I love copias. They're so good. They're so finicky. They're very difficult to grow. I transplanted one earlier and it fully died. And I think I have another one that I finally tried to transplant again. It's not looking great. So we'll see. Copias are a struggle. I just kind of stuck sugar snap peas in random places. And this one Looks like it's got some that are going to be ready before too much longer, which is exciting. Oh, I'm losing seeds. Yeah, this one should have some pods that are ready soon. The bindweed is obnoxious. In this box, this is where I had all my radishes, and I also put in carrots in between to just kind of give those time. So the carrots have fully come in, especially now that the radishes have been harvested. It just gave them time to stay a little more moist in there. The radishes helped protect them, and then by the time they'd gotten a little bit bigger and were okay, then I could pull those radishes and they're fine. And then I've got basils and peppers and tomatoes. Actually, I think, yeah, because I think that's a pepper. And here, this is a slow bolting, like heat tolerant spinach, which is doing really well. I think it's getting close though, so I probably need to harvest that. My artichoke is rallying, and my raspberries also look really good. If you saw an earlier video, I transplanted those. They were in the ground before, and they just started spreading like crazy, so I put them in pots to try to chill the growth there. And then this garden bed is the one that I just put in this year. It is getting kind of overrun with the bindweed, so I'll need to come in here and pull stuff. But I've got more cauliflower. I've got a cabbage, big ass cabbage there. That's looking good and cabbagey. Gosh, these critters are just digging holes everywhere. Lots of kale. I've got a tomato, which is starting to produce. So that should be a purpley kind of tomato, which is exciting. I've got beans all along here that are starting to look really good, as well as another of the peppers that I overwintered. That one was looking really rough, but I can see new growth on it, so that's exciting. And then shiso, I have another plant that I need to put out still, and then my fig. So everything's looking pretty happy. It's definitely a little thirsty, and it's a little chewed on, but that's okay. Okay, so I went looking for clearance plants and I found a tree. Now the logic on the tree was it's not on sale, although they did go ahead and give me a discount because it has like a few leaves that look kind of dry and stuff like that, and everybody was like, it's going through something. I'm like, it's fine, but I will take the discount. I'm not gonna argue that. But normally I feel like trees this size are more like $250 to $300, and this was $150, plus the discount brought it down to $135. So, did I need to buy a tree? No. Oh my god, it's hot. I gotta go. Okay, so I'm very warm now. But that's my music for this. Anyway, yeah. So obviously it's not like huge. It'll get bigger and that'll be great. But I'm super excited. It's a linden tree, so they smell really great when they bloom. And they get really, really big. They can get 30 to 50 feet tall. So it won't live here like when I officially plant it. But for now it's going to help kind of shade that front area this summer. Side note, I grow my squashes in my front yard. My winter squashes, I should say. And they're looking pretty good. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm working outside a little bit. It is going to be still pretty hot, so I'm going to try to just get everything watered and then maybe pull a few weeds here and there. But yeah, let me show you one of my favorite parts of summer. So this is my Irish moss between my stepping stones. First off, it looks like some oxalis came up this year. I'm not really sure where that came from, but I'm not mad about it. But it's been slowly filling in, and in the summertime, it blooms these pretty little white flowers mixed in here, and I just love seeing this. It makes me so happy. So we just had a couple of really hot days here in Denver, and even today I think the high is still gonna be 91, so it's still gonna be pretty toasty. So stuff got watered, but I'm gonna see how okay it's looking. The squash up front, I already watered those. Those look pretty good, so we're okay there. Let's go look at the other stuff. Okay, well, Raccoons Suck. They dug up a bunch of my tulip bulbs and whatnot. Just various other plants. I can see some seedlings have been dug up. And then they went up front and washed their hands in the water bowl that I put out for the cats. So, I'm putting tulip bulbs back. I already had to replant them there because they had dug up. There's tulip bulbs under those violas. And then there's a couple other spots that they've kind of dug, so I put stuff back. But you can see it's kind of a mess there. And then this pot has just been a holding spot for bulbs, and you can see a couple bulbs here, there, over here. Those were pepper seedlings that they obviously have kind of dug out. Looks like they opened this bin, which is super annoying because they just released a bunch of mosquitoes that we were trying to keep in there for dragonfly larvae to eat. Like, it's bad enough that the squirrels will dig stuff or take my strawberries or whatever, but these raccoons pissing me off. Oh, look, kitties. Jade, don't be a butthead. Ooh, there's a butterfly. Let's see if I can... Okay, well, I'm excited to see that the cucumber I transplanted is doing okay, surviving. So the old leaves, it looks like, have pretty much died off. I need to trim those off. But there's a lot of new growth in here that you can see, which is kind of what I expected. So that's exciting. Hopefully, it just needs to outmatch the roly-polies. So it looks like something dug in this bag. It's kind of hard to tell with the sun, but it's kind of, there's a hole there. But joke's on them, because there was nothing there. I spy a cherry. It's starting to turn color. I don't think it's quite there yet. That's still pretty, pretty light. But I can see another one is starting to turn. And there's another one turning. So that's very exciting. I don't see any others. Now it's going to kind of come down to, I need to probably put a bag on this or something. I don't know. It'd be nice if it produced more cherries, because that's the goal, is to just produce so much that if critters take some stuff, it's fine. There's still some for me. But we'll see. And I love this living fence. It's continued to grow and expand, which is nice, because during the summer months it helps block the alleyway and everything. But it's also very sad because there comes a point where the Japanese beetles start thriving, and they love this. So I have to come out here regularly and try to knock them off, and I put a trap over. There's trees across the way that I will hang a trap in to try to lure them away, but it's an ongoing battle. I filmed an outro for this video, however, all of my neighbors had decided that this day was the day to mow lawns, and so the audio content was not amazing. So I'm just gonna talk about what I do while you watch me harvest some veggies. This is always my favorite time of the year too, because we start getting to harvest things that aren't just lettuce and greens, and so I really enjoy being able to pull up like these beets and different things like that. And it's small harvests at first, but
still very exciting. I do a lot of garden content as well as house renovation content. My house is 100 years old and needs some work. So if you like that, you'll definitely enjoy what I'm doing. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That definitely helps me in the algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe. Even if you're not 100% sure, I don't know if the algorithm is ever going to show my content to you again. So subscribe now, and you can always unsubscribe later. But I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next time.